What I want to show in this video is what most men miss as they're building their legacy, ending generational wealth curses, and most importantly, building a life they wish they had growing up. Okay, my name is Dole, and I help men and women lead themselves so that they can lead everywhere else. And in this video, I'm going to describe the pattern that most men, successful, ambitious, who are building both, never notice. Okay, so this is the audience, bro. You have everything. You know, you've got the car, you got the beautiful wife, you got the beautiful house, you got the beautiful car. But here you are in your head saying one more thing. There is just that one more thing I need to get, and then I'll be settled. And then your wife and your family is pretty much asking why you're never present. This is the lingo I find a lot of men fall short, despite wanting the best for their families. And a lot of us will hear different things like, oh yeah, you know what, if you're going to be with a successful and ambitious man, accept that he's going to be busy, and just be with it and be okay with it. And if not that, well, you're going to be with someone that's really lazy and he's not going to want to do anything. And believe it or not, I was in this same box myself. I wanted to build as much as possible. I want nothing to do with poverty. I want my family to be well taken care of. And most importantly, I want my name to not necessarily ring bells, but I want it to mean something to me. Okay? And I think throughout the process, what I came to understand is that if I don't understand what my identity is built on, anything on top of it will always feel the fragility of the foundation I built it on. I've literally just given you the blueprint. A lot of us don't understand what we've built our identity on. We just grow up as children, we pick up some strategies here and there, we turn them into personalities because they stick for a very long period of time, and then we go ahead and live our lives ever after. So if you're avoidant, anxious, whatever the case is, on top of everything else your family's having to deal with, they're carrying your luggages without you even knowing, because you're not carrying them because you can't see them. It's almost like there's blind spots that is constantly hitting you in boxing. It's like you can't see that when you're defending yourself, your shoulders like this instead of like this. So when they're punching you, because you're not aware of the fact that once you're punched, you need to start to, it's only once you're punched that you're going to start to realize, oh, I need to defend myself here. Right? Exact same mechanism when it comes to this. Once you understand that your foundation is cracked, it's only then that you're going to start to work on it. But until then, you're going to assume that the blows are just normal. Again, just like in a boxing game, if someone's punching you and sometimes the punch is loud, you're just going to assume that's got nothing to do with you. It's just how the game is. And I need you to understand that that's exactly how a lot of people, over a period of time, take the punches, and then the foundation cracks. And then there's a divorce, and though a relationship breakup, or the kids want nothing to do with them. Okay? You can be as kind as you want, you can give all the gifts, but until you understand what's going on here, I promise you, you're going to find yourself in a position of difficulty when it comes to this. Hi. Hello. Thank you. So, So here's what you need to understand. What is my foundation built on? That is the question you need to ask yourself. And a lot of times, it leads back to these three statements. Yeah? So your identity is built on what you feel that you have control over. So in other words, your competence. Your identity is also built on, so your experiences, your decisions, and who you've told yourself you are over a long period of time. And then safety, what you feel safe around. Okay? Now, once you understand that, you start to realize that there's some more to this, which is your conscious identity and your subconscious identity. girl. So there's your conscious and your subconscious identity. Your conscious identity is what you are aware of. Okay, this is what you know or what you believe about yourself. Then you have subconscious. Subconscious identity is when you are building your life based on what you know you've gone through. And in order for things to stick in your subconscious identity, because here's, to keep it quite brief, your subconscious identity is basically a summary of your intense emotional experiences. Okay? A lot of us don't like to admit that we're traumatized. Fine. Just label it as your emotionally intense experiences. That is where your identity lies. So when you are consciously saying, I want to build a healthy family, if your emotionally intense experience about family is divorce, breakups, distance, a cold household, then that's exactly what your subconscious is going to broadcast. Your subconscious is the broadcast, and your conscious identity is the manager. So all it can say, it can't actually fix the problem. It can only report that there's something off about this. So when you're now, your subconscious never misses, by the way. Once you've internalized that emotional, intense experience, that is what it will broadcast, regardless of what you say, regardless of what you want to believe. Until you understand what is going on subconsciously, you are going to carry on having a reality that doesn't match your expectations, or getting lucky and having it match, because you don't know anyway. But the problem is, you not knowing is exactly why you're probably watching this video. Now, when I understood what my subconscious identity was, I was then able to alter it into what I actually want it to be. You see, when you're now saying one more, what your subconscious mind was basically saying in my case is that there is nothing I am going to do that is going to fulfill the void, because my identity says I am not enough as it stands. I need more. And that was what it was driving me. So I thought it was something that I needed. I needed to hear that I'm not enough. I needed to tell myself I'm not enough. But at some point, you're going to start to ask yourself, at what point am I enough? Is it when I'm in a top Forbes list? Or is it when I have 3 children and a beautiful house? When exactly am I enough? And the reason why that's such a fragile state to be in is that, guess what happens when any of those things that you are assuming will make you enough disappear? You go back to, of course I wasn't supposed to have them. I'm not enough anyway. So either I have it or I don't have it. I'm damned anyway. That is what happens when you don't know what your identity subconsciously is saying. I want to be successful. Okay, I want says I have a desire. A desire means there is something I need to work towards. So that means that based on who I am today, I don't actually have it. When you say that to yourself over a period of time, what you're subconsciously really saying is that the person you're seeing today is not enough. And there is nothing externally that's going to satisfy that. So when you're with your children and they're happy being around you, you're going to feel the gap, the guilt, the frustration that you've created by setting expectation and a reality that has no bounds. There isn't a cap to who you are or who you want to be. Because if there was a cap, you would have been happy by now. But the problem is, as soon as because of who you are, your cap goes here, and so does your expectation. Okay, I just got an X6. Cool, it's time to get a Rolls Royce. So now, despite what you've achieved, you're still climbing the ladder, right? I've just made it into the Forbes list. Okay, what about the Forbes list under 30? I should have done this much earlier. And it gets worse. Misery starts when your expectation and your reality, not only did they match, but there's nothing you can no longer do about it. This is where mid-crisis starts. This is where extreme frustration starts. By 31, I should have been a millionaire by now. By 32, I should have been this. I should have been that. I should have done this. I should have done that. And time goes on. and on. And now on top of frustration and dissatisfaction, you've also added guilt. So you're now, instead of carrying your light, so you now go, so guilt has you, dissatisfaction has you, shame has you. The last one is okay. So now you're feeling worthless because your worth is based on things you have, and when you don't have them, you go back to this. This is your foundation, by the way. Then you feel shame because you're comparing yourself to someone that's better off than you, or someone that looks better off than you. Then you have dissatisfaction because you created expectation being here and your reality being here. All you need to do to be dissatisfied is, this is not what it's supposed to look like. This is what I had in mind, and this is not what it's looking like right now. And then you have guilt. Guilt is the one thing, the silent killer that ruins so many men from being able to lead appropriately. Think of someone that's cheated. Okay, so when clients come to me and they said, I've cheated on my partner, I already know that guilt has been running like the moment you told me you cheated on my partner and I've tried to fix it, guilt is running that relationship. And I'll tell you that in 3 seconds. By the way, if you're interested in working with me on a one-to-one basis, the link to work with me is in the description. Book a call and I'll see you there. Now, when guilt is running your relationship, you're no longer leading, you're reacting, hoping for the validation of that person that you should have given yourself will now satisfy the needs that you have. The problem is that person is waiting for you to get over it so that they can also reflect that. So you created a loop where you're pouring into someone and that person is waiting for you to pour into yourself so that you can stop pouring unnecessarily into them and actually get to a space where you guys can actually move on based on you being clear-headed. Ooh, I'm chatting today. Bomb butter us. So, in other words, onto you, these are all the cracks that so many of us are missing. Now, if you want to get to a space where you can now be present whilst you're doing this and building, I need you to understand that you need to rewire yourself. You need to recalibrate yourself. You need to change your emotionally subconscious. You need to rewire your emotionally subconscious identity based on the things that you actually not just want to achieve, but you currently already are. Because the biggest lie about yourself is you forgetting that you are already the most powerful person in your life. Think of the things that you've achieved. Think of the things you've done, right? You've already done them. That is proof that amplifies. When you focus on what you don't have, that is proof that also amplifies. Okay? This is why the rich get rich and the poor get poorer. But they didn't tell you that that extends into everything we do, including how we think of ourselves. So when you're busy criticizing yourself and you think that that's what's making you a better person, I need you to understand that all you're really doing is making things worse for yourself. You are literally, like the title said, ruining the journey. I'm not saying you shouldn't be tough on yourself. I'm not saying you shouldn't be disciplined. But decide you're that person already and act accordingly. Stop trying to be a better person. Be the healthy husband and act accordingly. Be the man that you know you want to be and act accordingly. You're not promoted into management until you show people that you can manage. Same way God works in the same way. You become before anyone recognizes you. You become a millionaire way before anyone calls you a millionaire. In fact, you become a millionaire in some countries. Like for instance, right now, I am a millionaire in some countries. Not all of them, definitely not the UK. But I'm becoming already. I've already become. Some of you are waiting for the thing to give you the being that you need. And I'm here to tell you that you cannot have until you're being. Be, do, have. Not have, then be. Did you ever get a promotion before you showed the skills? Even in the interview, what does the person say when you hire someone? When I was hiring people, guess what I said? I know this person is someone that can actually deliver. Right? Because I wasn't judging it based on what they've done. I was based on who they were being in front of me. In that same way, people judge you already. You see, women look for husbands. Men look for wives. Why? You're not waiting for them to hand over to you what they're supposed to be doing. No, you assume that they're already being that person, or they have the capacity to be that person. So be the person that's at peace of mind with what they've achieved. The person that is satisfied with what they've done. And then from there, you treat everything else like it's a game that you're going to work towards anyway. I'm not saying don't be ambitious. I'm saying just stop doing it miserably, because you don't have to. And that is the lie that pisses me off, that puts so many men in these frustrating cages that they can't come out of. Now you've got billionaires, millionaires in cages that they created themselves. By the way, if you want to work with me on a one-to-one basis and understand how to get out of that, book a call in the bio. Okay? But this is what's currently happening. I know for you to reverse this, you need to reverse your identity, your control, and your safety. Now, identity. Let's keep it brief. Identity is the story you've been telling yourself. Once that changes, everything changes. How you change that is by changing your subconscious identity story. Now, how I do that is the work I do with my clients. We go through recalibration, we revisit those moments. To keep it brief, quite simply, it's just about understanding how to rewire yourself. Then you have control. Control is, what can you control? What do you have control over? And then you, of course, in order to empower the amount of control you have to stack the proof. So this is what I can control. And it's almost like you do the experiment where you're focusing on the things you can control and you let go of the things that you can't control. Why? Because they just remove the power that you already have. Think of safety. Safety is your ability to remain calm, to remain protected, to remain shielded in whatever it is you're witnessing. So think of yourself as a castle or a king in a castle, and then think of safety as the boundaries, right? The standards you're setting for yourself, the things that protect your identity and the things you can control. If someone's insulting you, what do? You keep calm, but you focus calmly on what the actions you want to receive. This is about rewiring what is showing up currently. Okay? Now, if you want to understand how to do that on a one-to-one basis, book a call in the bio. Really hope this video has added value to you in regards to understanding what's actually happening. And I'll see you in the next one.